Good evening, I'm Neil Kirksal. Tonight, with more than 2,000 COVID-19 cases in each of their provinces, again, pleas from two premiers.
I think that the situation is more critical.
Please, don't leave your home unless it's necessary.
But does Ontario have the right kind of lockdown?
Get these drivers tested and let's get them home.
How a frenzied scene at the UK coast is slowly being resolved. And Andrew's interview with Dr. Anthony Fauci.
Its safety is going to become even more apparent.
What he sees in the months ahead. This is The National. This time of year, the instinct is to gather, be face-to-face, in person. But this year, that is dangerous. COVID does not care that it's a holiday. So, a plea from leaders across the country today.
This is a perilous time. That means we must celebrate holidays differently this year.
During the holidays, hunker down.
Ontario's premier is again urging people to stay home as the province prepares to lock down on Saturday. Alberta announced new rules for people living alone during the holidays. But we want to begin in Quebec, which saw a record high today, 2,183 new COVID cases. It underscores the seriousness of the situation there. So, a show of unity across party lines. Sarah Levitt explains.
A rare sight, the leaders of Quebec's four provincial parties sharing a news conference.
We're all in this together.
Solidarity, it's really important.
We're united today to ask you to follow the rules.
Quebec's healthcare system is near a breaking point. 1,055 people are in hospital, 137 in intensive care. The province has prepared beds for COVID patients outside of hospitals due to lack of space.
I think that the situation is more critical. We have a record of more than 2,000 cases today.
A nurse for 36 years, Sylvie Morin has never seen anything like what hit her long-term care facility. More than 100 patients dead, almost 200 healthcare workers infected.
It was a nightmare. People were dying, and they died like so fast. It was like we were in an alternate world. I couldn't believe it, how much pain and suffering the patients, employees were going through.
Morin was meant to retire last year, but stayed on to deal with the crisis until September.
I'm so happy because I'm looking at the second wave right now, and I don't want to work anymore. People don't respect the measures in place.
There are lives at stake here and people that you love.
Wendy Paquette knows that firsthand. In April, her mother, Barbara Paquette, tested positive for COVID-19. She died a few days later.
I would like to say to people who are not taking the restrictions seriously, you have a responsibility to us. The heroes of today with this COVID are the ones who are taking the precautions.
Premier Legault says the light is at the end of the tunnel, but only if Quebecers follow the rules. Sarah Levitt, CBC News, Toronto.
Ontario's Windsor-Essex region is a COVID-19 hotspot with daily reported cases per capita at about 4 times the provincial average. Today, the region started administering vaccines. The first recipient, Crystal Baloch, a personal support worker who lost her own dad to the virus earlier this year.
He was a wonderful man, and he deserves all the credit for every fight that he went through this year. And he's the reason why I'm here today.
The long-term care home where Baloch works has not had an outbreak. She wants to keep it that way.
Seeing how what it did to my home and what it did to my family, that I'm determined I will not let it come into my residence. I won't.
Baloch says her father would have been proud of her today. Well, Ontario, the entire province, is set to go into a lockdown on Boxing Day. It is an attempt at a hard reset as numbers there keep climbing. Today, Ontario reported more than 2,200 new cases, and the number of COVID patients in the ICU hit an all-time high. Deanna Sumanak-Johnson now with why some worry this is the wrong lockdown plan.
This Oakville, Ontario mall is one of just a few in the Greater Toronto area still allowed to be open. A chance for last-minute shopping before the province-wide lockdown kicks in on Boxing Day.
Oh man, I don't like it at all, I'll be honest. I just feel like we went into lockdown already. I would have liked for us to maybe handle it a little better the first time.
I think by trying to close things down and keep people at home, hopefully we can keep this at bay a little bit longer.
As the criticism about waiting 5 days to institute a lockdown persists, there are also questions about what businesses are allowed to remain open. For warehouses and industrial spaces, it's business as usual. But in the COVID-beleaguered Peel region, manufacturing and industrial settings accounted for the largest proportion of workplace outbreaks.
They're not focusing on where the transmission is significantly happening, and that's in industrial settings.
While few people advocate shutting down these facilities fully, many say a problem is that people are coming to work sick, fearing the loss of wages or their job.
I mean, we can't talk about a lockdown and believe that it's universal if we're not ensuring that there's paid sick leave for people.
Asked about it today, Premier Doug Ford pointed to federally paid 2 weeks of sick leave and a move made by the province.
We've legislated that no one can be fired. If they're off sick or they have COVID, companies cannot fire them.
But some worry companies may not be complying and the federal money doesn't come quickly.
If they're going to qualify for 1 week, they'll have to wait 2 months to get that funding back. And for people who are living paycheck to paycheck in precarious employment, it's just not realistic.
Well, Deanna, there are places in the province that think they should not be included in this lockdown.
That's right, Neil. The war of words continues about which parts of the province should be shut down and for how long. Yesterday, Mayor Jim Watson of Ottawa said that the capital should not be put under lockdown because it has managed its COVID infections well. Today, appearing on CBC radio, he mused out loud whether it might be possible to shorten the lockdown for Ottawa to 14 days. 14 days is the length of the lockdown that reserved for Northern Ontario, whereas Southern Ontario will be under lockdown for 28 days. Responding to that, Premier Ford said, "I'm not here to play politics, I'm here to save lives." But in a statement obtained by CBC News, the province said that they will be evaluating throughout the duration of the lockdown whether it's safe to lift some measures or whether the lockdown needs to be extended. Neil.
Thanks for this, Deanna. That is Deanna Sumanak-Johnson in Toronto tonight. Well, going into the holidays, Alberta is suddenly relaxing its COVID restrictions on gatherings a bit.
Between December 23rd and December 28th, single Albertans may attend one event at another household. Households may host up to 2 single people for an event.
So that means, for example, that a single aunt or uncle could join the family for a holiday dinner. Alberta reported 1,021 cases today. It is not a low number, but the lowest in the province in more than a month. Well, BC's top doctor, Bonnie Henry, got the Pfizer-BioNTech shot today. She is among the first healthcare workers on Vancouver Island to get it, and surely the highest profile. This as BC announced 444 new cases. That is the lowest number there since early November. Well, the new variant of the virus racing through the UK is raising questions about whether existing vaccines offer enough protection. The CEO of BioNTech says he is confident in his company's shot.
You have just to calculate that 99% of this virus protein is not changed. Only 1% is, or less than 1% is changed. So the likelihood is high that the vaccine can deal with that.
They are currently studying it, though, to be sure, and will have the results in about 2 weeks. Canada is one of dozens of countries where the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is approved for use. Well, to try to keep that virus variant out of Canada, flights from the UK are temporarily suspended. But as David Cochrane shows us, Ontario's premier is pushing for more to be done, and Ottawa is pushing right back.
To date, we have not seen this variant.
Just because they haven't found it doesn't mean it isn't here. So a scavenger hunt of old and new testing samples is underway to make sure.
We're still going to be doing more testing and sequencing in the days to come. But it wouldn't surprise me that this variant is in many different countries.
News of the mutation comes as Ontario locks down and Premier Doug Ford ratchets up the blame, calling for testing for international travelers at airports.
Without further action by the federal government at our borders, we remain at extreme risk right now.
Ford's party sent an email blast to supporters asking them to sign this petition because our borders are a real problem and enough is enough. The time for action is now.
We've heard a number of comments which frankly are an unfortunate misrepresentation of what is actually happening at our borders.
Blair says Canada's border measures are strong and have only been enhanced with the news out of the UK. But he says the data that closely matches what Ontario publishes on its website makes it clear the border isn't the problem.
COVID-19 cases related to international travel currently account for only 1.8% of all cases. That means 98.2% of COVID transmissions are a result of community transmissions, not international travel.
Amidst the anxiety and the political bickering, some good news. Moderna has submitted its final data to Health Canada seeking approval for its vaccine. The health minister says a final decision is expected very soon. David Cochran, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, most EU countries have blocked all travel from Britain in hopes of guarding against the new variant. There is a deal now to allow thousands of stranded truck drivers to cross over into France. But as Farah Morale shows us, it is still a mess.
A truck's side hatch serves as a makeshift table on day 2 for thousands of stranded drivers.
We tried to find some place to sleep. It was so difficult for us. We are tired, we are disappointed. Aquí parado.
I've been here for 3 days now, this driver from Spain says, adding that he and others have not been offered food, drinks, or sanitation. The situation is basically inhumane, he says. Late today, a deal was struck to reopen this crossing to France. It closed Sunday amid fears of the new coronavirus variant spreading. Drivers with a recent negative COVID test will be allowed to cross.
We really ought to be finding a way now of getting them all tested as quick as possible, bringing in, we have the army available, right? Bring them in, mass, and get these drivers tested, and let's get them home.
What planned mass testing tomorrow will look like is unclear. Local officials estimate there are nearly 3,000 trucks stuck at this crossing, so while the border is opening, delays will continue, prompting fears of food shortages in the UK. Some shops are now introducing limits on products like toilet paper to stop panic buying. At the same time, a deadline for a Brexit trade deal is just 9 days away.
And all of this feels like it's coming together into a pretty major sense of crisis, actually.
The current border disruption, a sign of what may be to come.
If we don't have a trade deal between Britain and the EU, then disruption is going to become a way of life, because the EU has already said it will impose tariffs and it will impose customs checks and checks on the safety of food and animal products.
So while it's the end of what's been a long few days for these drivers, it might just be the start of a different chaos come January 1st. Farah Morale, CBC News, London.
Well, in this country, thousands of people are still in the dark after a snowstorm in southern British Columbia. About 223,000 homes were affected by the heavy snowfall and strong winds on Monday. That has not stopped some people from having fun, though. Today, most of the power was restored. Warnings were lifted. The same storm also hit parts of Alberta.
Those of us that are on a couple weeks of Christmas vacation, it sets the mood. You know, we could use a little Christmas happiness this year.
I like sunny. I'm not impressed with the snow we have now, but that's the way it is.
Mixed feelings from people still digging out. 70 centimeters of snow fell in parts of the province. Some flights were canceled. The storm system is moving east now through Saskatchewan and Manitoba. It is expected to reach Ontario by tomorrow. There are new developments tonight in the death of an Inuk man. He was killed inside a Newfoundland prison. 10 guards at Her Majesty's Penitentiary in St. John's are now facing criminal charges. That includes manslaughter for 3 of them. Ryan Cook has those details.
Jonathan Hanoch was from Nain on the north coast of Labrador. He was arrested in 2016 for the killing of 88-year-old Regula Shuley, a beloved volunteer in Labrador, lauded for her work with Indigenous communities. According to his lawyer, Hanoch was transferred to St. John's for his own safety. He was in protective custody on November 6, 2019, when sources say a pair of guards came to his cell. A physical altercation ensued, and Hanoch was taken to the segregation unit. It's not known what happened next, but his death ensued and was ruled a homicide. Today, Hanoch's family welcomed the charges.
They were relieved yesterday that action had been taken, and they're more relieved today to hear that there's 10 people charged, and at least 3 of them have been charged with manslaughter.
The accused are not being identified, despite charges being laid. Buckingham says it's also unusual that they were released by police without going before a judge for a bail hearing.
It's favoritism because they're prison guards. It's favoritism because most likely they are white individuals. It's favoritism because the person involved in this was an Aboriginal man.
Hanoch was the 5th prisoner to die in this province since 2017. After the 4th, a report warned that the correction system had reached a breaking point. 9 months after that, Jonathan Hanoch was killed. The 10 people accused in his death are set to make a first court appearance on February 11th. Ryan Cook, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, let's turn to Toronto now, where a well-known Pakistani activist has died. She wanted independence for Balochistan. Pakistan's westernmost province is rich in natural resources, but political instability is also a reality. For decades, Balochistan has produced outspoken activists pushing for independence in a region where doing that is very dangerous. Fearing for her life, Karima Baloch came to Canada in 2015. Magda Gabrisalasa has more on her life now and her death.
There is hundreds of illegal torture. As a longtime critic of Pakistan, 37-year-old Karima Baloch devoted her life to speaking for the people of Balochistan. She was reported missing on Sunday. Loved ones say police told them she was found drowned on Monday.
I cannot explain it, like how it was shocking, how still we are in shock.
As friends and family mourn, her death is making international headlines.
Prominent Baloch activist has been found dead.
Baloch had accused Pakistan of stripping natural resources from Balochistan, of torture and forced disappearances of activists. Fearing for her life, she fled to Canada several years ago, but her friend says she still faced threats.
Her husband showed me some screenshot saying to him, they will send a Christmas gift to Karima, she will never forget. And they were asking, stop your activism, and otherwise we will target you.
Toronto police say that her death is being investigated as a non-criminal death. But there should be more scrutiny, says this academic.
We've seen Baloch activists being targeted abroad in places like Sweden and other critics of the Pakistani state too. So this is unfortunately something that goes beyond just Karima Baloch.
Amnesty International is also calling for a further investigation into the activist's death. You can never stop us from our quest for justice. The Pakistani High Commission in Canada says it has approached the Canadian government to know the cause of Baloch's death. But those who knew her feel she wouldn't have harmed herself. Magda Gabrisalasa, CBC News, Toronto.
Millions of Americans are getting ready to go home for the holidays as the president-elect urges them to stay put.
We all have to care enough for each other that we have to stay apart just a little bit longer.
Up next, we head to an airport to meet people on the move. Plus, the national interview with America's top infectious diseases doctor, Anthony Fauci, on where the U.S. is heading and that virus variant in the UK.
I would not be surprised that if it already is at low levels in other countries, including Canada, including the United States.
And the new trend in gift giving is not giving.
I mean, what do we really need?
We're back in just 2 minutes. Welcome back. Dozens of airline passengers in this country have been hit with fines and warning letters for refusing to wear a mask on board. Data obtained by CBC News reveals Transport Canada has issued 72 fines or warnings in recent months. The fines range from $100 to $2,000. WestJet says it's issued 34 one-year travel bans to passengers who refused to wear a mask. Antarctica is now reporting its first outbreak with at least 36 cases of COVID-19 detected at a Chilean research base. Officials say all of the people infected are now back in Chile and in isolation. Until now, Antarctica was the only COVID-free continent. Well, millions of people in the United States are rejecting the advice public health officials are giving. They are traveling and raising fears of a post-Christmas surge at the beginning of 2021. Katie Simpson is asking some travelers why they're not staying home.
Airports across the U.S. are busier than they have been at any other point in the pandemic. Travelers risking exposure to COVID in order to spend the holidays with loved ones.
My parents live.
Chris Schmidt is going to Seattle to see his parents.
I love them. I want to see them, but at the same time, I personally, I'd rather not go, but at the same time, I feel like I should go.
While fewer people are traveling this year compared to last year, tens of millions of Americans are still expected to get together by plane, train, or automobile.
On a normal holiday season, we may see more like 120 million Americans traveling, but this year it's going to be more like 84.5 million are going to travel.
Public health experts are begging Americans to reconsider, predicting a sharp spike in COVID cases if large gatherings are held.
That could be a pretty dark January if we don't adhere to these public health measures.
Good afternoon, everyone.
In his end-of-the-year speech, the president-elect urged Americans to follow his lead and cancel in-person celebrations.
Like we did over Thanksgiving, we all have to care enough for each other that we have to stay apart.
But time is a luxury not everyone has.
Sadly, I have a sister that is very sick. So maybe this is going to be the last time I'm going to see her.
Omar Jordan becomes emotional as he justifies his family trip home to Bolivia.
Family is important, and in this case, it's something more important than this pandemic.
The U.S. is in a brutal position as the holiday travel season picks up, averaging 2,600 new COVID deaths every day. It's easily the worst phase of the pandemic yet. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Washington.
Well, you heard him in Katie's story. When we come back, the national interview with Dr. Anthony Fauci.
It's been a good day. I got vaccinated today, and I actually feel fine.
How he hopes to win over the vaccine hesitant, his message to COVID deniers, and what he wants for Christmas.
We can essentially crush this outbreak.
The national interview is right after this.
I want to encourage everyone who has the opportunity to get vaccinated so that we could have a veil of protection over this country that would end this pandemic.
And with that, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the top infectious diseases expert in the United States, got a dose of the Moderna vaccine, which is expected, we should tell you, to be approved in this country in the coming days. Dr. Fauci is trusted by more Americans than Donald Trump on the virus, making his role unusually political. More than 320,000 Americans are dead, but the U.S. president rarely mentions the pandemic these days, making Dr. Fauci's voice all the more pivotal. Andrew spoke to him today about the fight so far and the challenges ahead.
Hey, Dr. Fauci, very nice of you to take the time to join us. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me. It's been a good day. I got vaccinated today, and I actually feel fine.
So I saw that moment where you were getting vaccinated, and you know, we've seen this kind of parade, right, of high-ranking officials doing just that, right up to the vice president, Mike Pence, getting his shot just a few days ago. But I can't help but wonder, where's President Trump in all of this?
Well, you know, I think he is not getting vaccinated now because he received monoclonal antibody when he was infected with SARS-CoV-2. which is a large amount of antibody that they infuse in you, passively transferring the antibody. The recommendation is that if you have a high level of antibody as a result of the passive transfusion, it would interfere with the ability of the vaccine to induce a good response. And so right now, the recommendation is to wait 90 days from the time you've gotten the infusion. I believe that that's the reason why he is not getting vaccinated now.
Has Donald Trump signaled to you that he has a desire to get vaccinated as soon as possible?
I haven't had that kind of a conversation. I haven't spoken to the president since he was in Walter Reed at the time that he was ill with SARS-CoV-2. I have not discussed with him the subject of his getting vaccinated.
Is that something that you plan to discuss in the near future?
Well, I don't know. You know, it's unpredictable when the president wants to talk to you or not. It's not one of those things that's a regular meeting we have. Haven't spoken to him in a while. But if he wants to speak to me, I'm always happy to speak to him and give him any advice that we'd like.
I want to ask you about the UK mutation. And you know, we call it that, except of course it's had months to spread. And so what I'm wondering is, how likely is it, in your mind, that it is already in Canada, already in the United States?
I would not be surprised that if it already is at low levels in other countries that have not yet detected it, including Canada, including the United States. Can't say for sure, but I would not be surprised.
But how worrying is that? Because you know, in Canada, there is a ban on incoming flights from the UK, and my understanding is that the US hasn't followed suit in that front. And I'm just wondering, what is the rationale here?
It's suggestive that given the rate of spread in the UK, that this mutation might be responsible for the increased spread, which means it increases the transmissibility of the virus. That could be true. We're going to assume that it is. What we know it doesn't do, it does not appear to increase the virulence of the virus, namely making it a more serious or deadly virus. And it doesn't appear at all to interfere with the protective effect of a vaccine. So those are the things we'll continue to follow. My approach to this is follow it very carefully, get as much information as you possibly can, but don't overreact to it.
But at the same time, more transmission does equal more death. And so if I'm looking at the situation and I'm thinking, okay, this seems like it's only going to get worse until, as you point out, there is sort of a meaningful uptake of the vaccine. Okay, but then, you know, depending on the survey that you look at, I mean, up to what, half of Americans are either uncertain about or hesitant or altogether unwilling to get vaccinated. So how does this pandemic ever end?
You know, I believe, and I have some cautious optimism, that given the high degree of efficacy of this vaccine and the fact that it is safe, and as more and more people get vaccinated, its safety is going to become even more apparent, that those people who are skeptical and reluctant will come around. Well, I think as the time goes by, more and more people would be convinced of the advantage of protecting yourself, your family, and ultimately the community. So I'm cautiously optimistic that as more vaccine is rolled out, we're going to do better and better.
We've already seen millions of Americans ignore health warnings and opt to travel to see loved ones this holiday season. I mean, what does that tell you about the extent to which Americans are willing to take this pandemic seriously?
What we're seeing now is that when you look at the airport travel, that we're having more travel now than we've had throughout any time in the pandemic. That is of concern to me. We don't want to cancel Christmas, but we're at a critical time here in the United States. We have deaths that break records almost every day. We have numbers of hospitalization well over 100,000, 118,000 the last time we looked, 200,000 new infections a day. It's a very serious situation. And yet, as you said, people still seem in some respects, not all people, but some, to ignore the recommendations that we make from a public health standpoint. We will see the result of that a few weeks following the end of the Christmas holiday. And that could be a pretty dark January if we don't adhere to these public health measures.
So then what is the point at which you set aside what you called a sort of cautious optimism in place of something a little stricter and a little more aggressive, maybe even perhaps on a national scale? I mean, does the incoming Biden administration allow you to push the envelope a little bit in what you're willing to mandate?
So one of the things that I would hope we could do, and I would recommend, is have much more guidance from the federal government and assistance to the states in getting things done in a uniform, consistent way, as opposed to some states even still acting as if there's no problem, acting as if this is a hoax or if it's fake news. We see examples of that, not the governors or the mayors, but people in a certain state here versus there think that it isn't really a problem when the numbers and the data tell you very clearly that we're dealing with a very, very serious problem that we have to address by pulling together in the same direction.
I have time for one last question for you, and it's about what happens 2 days from now. So Christmas Eve, of course, but I also understand it is your birthday. And so I suppose this allows you to wrap a Christmas wish and your birthday wish all in one. So let's hear it. What is it?
My birthday and Christmas wish is that within a reasonable period of time over the next several months, we can essentially crush this outbreak.
Dr. Fauci, I hope we have many more opportunities to speak again, and happy birthday. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, and thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate it.
Next on The National, it has been a challenging year for many Canadians.
When people go through a health crisis, it really makes them reevaluate what's important.
And for many, there will be less under the Christmas tree this year. For some, that's just the way they want it.
Focus on what's important, our close family, and being healthy and being safe.
That story for you right after this. Welcome back. There are few people who have not felt the effects of this pandemic in one way or another. In a moment, we're going to show you how food banks are trying to cope with the spike in demand. The pandemic has cut deeply into personal finances, and that means less focus on material things this holiday. Ellen Morrow now on the decision to go giftless.
At Cassandra Plukov's house, it looks like Christmas as usual, but in 2020, it's anything but.
We're just gonna keep it simple and focus on what's important, our close family, and being healthy and being safe.
These are Plukov Christmases past, filled with family gatherings and gift giving. Not so this strange year. The Plukovs choosing to skip presents altogether.
We all just sort of looked at each other and said, well, I don't think that's gonna be happening this year. I mean, what do we really need?
They're not alone. Canadians are expected to spend about 20% less this year on the holidays, according to a Deloitte Canada survey.
People's pockets are just a little bit tighter and debt levels a little bit higher. That kind of points to that 20%, which is a big reduction for retailers.
Retailers who've already taken a terrible hit.
The ones that will get hurt the most are probably those local, unfortunately, the local mom and pop shops.
The choice to give up gift giving is not unexpected, given the toll of the pandemic, says this psychologist.
When people go through a health crisis, it really makes them reevaluate what's important and what really matters to them. And basically, as a planet, we've gone through a health crisis.
For Roger Wiebe, 2020 brought personal crisis too. Both he and his wife let go from their jobs. With no money to spare, Christmas will be just another day this year.
People have lights out on the streets and everything, but there's no Christmas. We can't afford it. I just called or set a food bank appointment.
Still, the Edmonton couple is trying to stay positive.
There's a lot more people even worse off than me. So I'm thankful for what we have. It is a struggle, but at least we have a warm house, roof over our head.
And hope for the greatest gift of all, that better days are on the horizon with 2020 on the way out.
Ellen Morrow, CBC News, Toronto.
Food banks are in a final push now, scrambling to collect enough donations to cover the Christmas rush and to carry over into the new year. Bonnie Allen tells us all of this comes as food banks are reporting more first-time users and fewer volunteers.
A snowstorm isn't enough to slow down the flurry of activity at the Regina Food Bank. It's sending out hundreds of the usual food hampers on top of thousands of Christmas meals. CEO John Bailey says overall the food bank has given out 60% more food this year than last year.
No food bank wants to be bigger, but every food bank wants to make sure they're meeting the needs of their community. And right now the needs of our community are probably greater than they've ever been.
Food banks across Canada are reporting a spike in first-time users, including people who lost their job due to the pandemic.
We have people calling us, they're losing their houses, they're not able to pay their rent, times are getting tough.
Since March, when the pandemic kicked off, we've served almost 28,000 people, 6,000 of them for the very first time.
To help, Ottawa came up with $200 million in emergency food security money this year, much of it going to food banks. But it's not enough.
I still cannot get my head around the fact that here, in Canada, we still have people who don't have sufficient food on their table.
I'm very proud, and I'm very proud of all the frontline food bank workers, volunteers, staff, that we have kept the system open, running, stocked.
Food banks' costs are soaring, buying more food, PPE, cleaning supplies. Bailey has spent $100,000 just on boxes to make pickups and deliveries safer. He's also hiring more people after losing a lot of his volunteers, some choosing to stay home, others he must turn away to limit the number of people inside his facility.
It honestly feels like you're sort of getting squeezed on all sides.
So the Regina Food Bank, like others, is asking for cash donations, bracing for what could be a difficult new year. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Regina.
Well, when we come back, one Calgary strip mall, 5 different pandemic experiences.
It's been a lot of ups and downs. It was scary at first.
Business owners bond and build a community around their shared address. Strip mall stories, if you will. That's next. Well, welcome back. Small businesses across this country are still navigating the challenges of COVID-19. Many, unfortunately, have to do it alone. Some, though, have found fellowship and community with their neighbors. Kyle Bax takes us to one Calgary strip mall where strangers have become allies during this pandemic.
Of all the retail businesses, owning a butcher shop is one of the few safe havens this year. While so many stores have had to trim operations to stay afloat, here the customers keep coming.
Business is good. I mean, I can't complain. I'm up slightly from last year.
This butcher shop is one of many tenants in this strip mall. Together, they're an odd patchwork of businesses bound by a single address, united by their pandemic experience.
A lot of restaurants are closed, or people don't feel comfortable going to restaurants that are open, and they're deciding, well, you know what, why don't we eat really well at home and get ourselves some good meat. So that's definitely been good for my business.
Next to the butcher is a vegan shop. Here, sales are down, staff reduced. But once a week, a table is set out with more than 100 takeout dishes for anyone, free of charge.
Come and get it. Don't even questioning it. We've been doing that for the last 6-7 months now. Every Wednesday, you can come.
Free food?
Yeah, just every Wednesday, 2 to 4.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
And why are you doing that?
Because the people need it.
At the French bakery, the beginning of the pandemic was tough, but the mall neighbors helped out by giving sage advice. Cut your hours and serve more frozen food so customers can buy fresh baking and pick up other treats to make it home later in the week.
It seems that the years has passed fast, just doing the same thing, coming to work and home and work and home.
In the early days, the distillery began producing hand sanitizer. Their first customers were the mall neighbors, who were struggling to find enough supply.
It's been a lot of ups and downs. It was scary at first. Fortunately, that helped, but definitely we're feeling the effects of COVID and the pandemic and the future uncertainty, definitely.
On the other end of the strip mall, a different story. This gym is usually filled with children and teenagers learning the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but now it's empty. The gym was forced to close for 3 months in the spring and lost more than a quarter of its members. It's deja vu all over again, with the current lockdown likely stretching at least a few months.
And I'm going to start getting those calls in that I got in March, April, May. Hey, I need to cancel. Hey, I need to stop the payments, and then it just dwindles, and then, then we got to figure something else out.
The other shop owners would like to help, but in this case, all they can offer is moral support.
We've been collaborating, we've been staying together and staying strong through all of this and working together as much as we can.
Even for those shops seeing success, it's been tough. If one suffers loss, they all feel it.
The businessman in me doesn't want a lockdown, but the person in me, the Calgarian, the Canadian, the father, if that's what's necessary, I think we have to do it. The economy, people will recover eventually, but you can't bring anybody back from the dead. I unfortunately lost my mother to COVID in April. She was in a home, so I know firsthand what this is all about. So I would hate for that to happen to someone else.
For now, the merchants will continue to navigate the pandemic, knowing when it's all over, they'll still have their lasting friendships. Kyle Bax, CBC News, Calgary.
Well, next on the National, Schitt's Creek is back, kind of.
I was joking with a couple friends saying, I should just build the Rosebud Motel because I have nothing else to do.
The newest addition to this Seattle neighborhood is attracting a lot of fans. The story behind it is next in Our Moment. Well, Schitt's Creek fans will recognize this building. If you look closely, though, you will see it actually is not from the show's set. It is a replica built in Seattle. It started out as a pandemic Halloween project and turned into something much bigger. The story behind it is Our Moment.
I usually do the Bates Motel every year for Halloween. This year I was joking with a couple friends saying, I should just build the Rosebud Motel because I have nothing else to do. One of my friends said, you should. And I was saying it jokingly at first. The Rosebud Motel fit perfect for what I had out front. And it took about a month to do between Halloween and Thanksgiving. It's on the retaining wall in front of my house. Painted the plywood, and then I got white rocks to simulate snow out front. I'm a very detailed person, so I copied the colors of the bricks exactly, and I painted each one how it is on the show. I love the show. The show's great. I've watched it through about 3 times. I've actually gotten a lot of people to watch the show because of this that had never seen the show before. Every single comment has been positive, and everybody loves it. The whole neighborhood knows about it. I keep adding to it all the time, and so they're excited to see whatever I add to it. So this was kind of one-upping myself as far as that goes. And none of my neighbors have complained yet, so.
The details. Actually, forget complaining. Some people, Richard says, have actually started to cry when they see it. Next year, he says he wants to turn it into a food bank fundraiser. That would be appreciated, I'm sure. That is the National for you on this Tuesday, December 22nd.